So Michael Cohen has made many statements to the House, as I understand it, and the Senate. He put out a statement talking about a project which was essentially, I guess, more or less of an option that we were looking at in Moscow. Everybody knew about it. It was written about in newspapers. It was a well-known project. It was during the early part of 16, and I guess even before that. It lasted a short period of time. I didn't do the project. I decided not to do the project, so I didn't do it. So we're not talking about doing a project. We're talking about not doing a project. Michael Cohen, what he's doing is he was convicted, I guess. You'll have to put it into legal terms. But he was convicted with a fairly long-term sentence on things totally unrelated to the Trump Organization, having to do with mortgages and having to do with cheating the IRS, perhaps, a lot of different things. I don't know exactly, but he was convicted of various things unrelated to us. He was given a fairly long jail sentence, and he's a weak person. And by being weak, unlike other people that you watch, he's a weak person, and what he's trying to do is get a reduced sentence. So he's lying about a project that everybody knew about. I mean, we were very open with it. We were thinking about building a building. I guess we had in a form, it was an option. I don't know what you'd call it. I decided ultimately not to do it. There would have been nothing wrong if I did do it. If I did do it, there would have been nothing wrong. That was my business. So he's lying very simply to get a reduced sentence, okay? During the period...
Copy there, as you can tell.
When I run for president,
here he's back.
Doesn't mean I'm not allowed to do business. I was doing a lot of different things when I was running. After I won, obviously I don't do business from January 20th, but more importantly, which is a following year. But I ran a business. In fact, I often joke about the fact that I was the only person that campaigned and simultaneously ran a business. But that was a project that we didn't do. I didn't do. That was a project that wasn't done for a lot of reasons. Number one is that I was really, not that I had to do it, but I was focused on running for president. I wanted that to be my primary focus, not running or building a building. Well, this was a deal that didn't happen. That was no deal. I mean, if you look, this was an option. I guess, I don't know if I want to be very specific. So, but to my way of thinking, it was an option that I decided not to do. So we didn't. So if you look, we really didn't have, excuse me. This was an option in a form, but here's very simple. We had a position to possibly do a deal to build a building of some kind in Moscow. I decided not to do it. The primary reason, there could have been other reasons, but the primary reason, it was very simple. I was focused on running for president. There would be nothing wrong if I did do it. I was running my business while I was campaigning. There was a good chance that I wouldn't have won, in which case I would have gone back into the business. And why should I lose lots of opportunities? So here's the story. Go back and look at the paper that Michael Cohen wrote before he testified in the House and/or Senate. It talked about his position. What he's trying to do, because he's a weak person and not a very smart person, what he's trying to do is end, and it's very simple. He's got himself a big prison sentence, and he's trying to get a much lesser prison sentence by making up a story. Now, here's the thing. Even if he was right, it doesn't matter, because I was allowed to do whatever I wanted during the campaign. I was running my business, a lot of different things during the campaign. So very simply, Michael Cohen is lying, and he's trying to get a reduced sentence for things that have nothing to do with me. Now, let me go a step further. I think you should go back to, I think it was January. It was just reported very well by Catherine Harris, who's a terrific reporter on Fox. She talks about a letter that he signed. I don't even remember it. And it specifically talks about this deal. This deal was a very public deal. Everybody knows about this deal. I wasn't trying to hide anything. Okay. I cannot understand you.
Supporting groups like Hamas and Hezbollah and Syria and Palestine. So when you see Putin, what are you going to tell him about these activities?
Well, we're going to talk about it, but we have a lot of things to talk about, Jeff.
You're going into a summit shortly. What is your sense about a trade deal with China? What do you expect to say to Mr. Xi?
I think we're very close to doing something with China, but I don't know that I want to do it because what we have right now is billions and billions of dollars coming into the United States in the form of tariffs or taxes. So I really don't know, but I will tell you that I think China wants to make a deal. I'm open to making a deal, but frankly, I like the deal we have right now.
Are you going to meet with him? And if so, what are you going to do?
I probably will be meeting with President Putin. We haven't terminated that meeting. I was thinking about it, but we haven't. They'd like to have it. I think it's a very good time to have the meeting. I'm getting a full report on the plane as to what happened with respect to that, and that will determine what I'm going to be doing. Okay?
You said you were getting a full report on Tuesday. Is that report and what you
Well, I have a couple of reports. We're getting a finalized report. Are you talking about on the Russian situation with the ship and the Ukraine? Yeah. We're getting a finalized report. I'm going to have it on the plane sometime.
Why aren't you meeting with the Crown Prince? Why aren't you meeting with the Crown Prince?
It just wasn't set up.
Denial of doing the soldier having knowledge.
It only wasn't set up. I mean, I would have met with him, but we didn't set that one up. I'm meeting with President Xi, which is a very important meeting having to do with trade. And as you know, I'm making about 3 or 4 meetings. We just didn't have time.
If Cohen is president, are you going to be raising the pay to the Americans held in China?
I'm going to bring it up, yes.
What about the chief process?
I don't hear you. You got to talk. You see that? You have a helicopter. No, the question was asked yesterday about pardons with respect to Paul Manafort, who it's very sad what's happened to Paul, the way he's being treated. I've never seen anybody treated so poorly. But the question was asked to me by the New York Post, and I said, no, I have not offered any pardons. And I think they asked, or whatever, would you? I said, I'm not taking anything off the table. That was done as a question from the New York Post.
Did you tell Michael Cohen what to tell
If Cohen is such a bum, why did you hire him, have him on your payroll for 12 years, and have him do so much of your dirty work?
Because a long time ago, he did me a favor. A long time ago, he did me a favor. No, not at all. Not at all. I'm not worried at all about him. You just take a look at his written document. Go back, take a look at what he wrote in, I think, January. He has a written statement, and that's the fact. Yeah.
There is a campaign in the city of Strasbourg. We want to push people to vote for the European election, saying, France, we don't want the European Union to be like Trump's America. What do you want to tell them? What do you want?
I don't know what, you can't with a helicopter. Sorry.
What do you want to tell them?
Say it. A possible shutdown if we don't get the wall money. A very possible. We're in negotiation. If we don't get border security, possible shutdown.